So how's it going, guys? I know it's been quite some time since I posted on the channel. I've been making some changes to this channel and to um, my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, formerly known as Dragon Master. It's now known um, as the Dark Side of the Dragon's Den. This channel's also going under some changes. At the time of recording this video, I'm not really sure what those changes are going to be quite yet. Um, I'm possibly going to be changing the name to, maybe the Dog Pound or probably even Madhouse and stuff like that, since I am working um, on doing a few collaboration videos with a few people. And quite frankly, it would be under the whole logo of what I call Madhouse Productions. Because everyone I know is fucking crazy, like me. Um, but we're getting a little off topic today. So, today's video is actually about an article I seen on Facebook a couple of days ago about the newest addition to the Call of Duty family coming out, I believe, later this year, and that would, of course, be Black Ops 4. And I didn't like the initial headline of the article stating that Black Ops 4 could be basically the ultimate death of Call of Duty. And sorry, the camera angle's kind of fucking with me here. And I'm reading this headline, I'm like, okay, so why are they saying this? So I read a little bit of the article, and to say that I was shocked to see that Treyarch was doing something that Infinity Ward had basically already attempted, you know, I, I wouldn't say I was shocked. I would say I was more disgusted, because to me, Infinity Ward, their games are not always the best. And it's been proven with the Black Ops series for Call of Duty that Treyarch has been producing some pretty badass games. So I'm reading this, and apparently the game is already not sitting very well with testers, because according to them, it's too much like Overwatch. Overwatch, there was one other game, I can't remember the name of the game, but I'm reading this and I'm like, okay, I've never played Overwatch. I've seen, some of the gameplay videos for it and shit like that. Um, very much loved game. And a lot of people have even speculated that it is a new rival for Call of Duty. Well, let's reverse a little bit here last year to the release of last year's Call of Duty being WW2, World War II. And back to a video I did back when I first started up the channel about the rivals of Call of Duty, and the biggest rival being Battlefield. Battlefield released, the makers of Battlefield, I think they're who, DICE? I'm not a Battlefield fan, so. But the makers of Battlefield created Battlefield, what was it? Battlefield 1, I think it was. Which was basically a World War kind of environment. And then sure enough, we get World War II from Call of Duty. So if anyone had any doubts in their mind about, fuck Infinity Ward and Treyarch, if anyone had any doubts in their mind that the biggest rival to Activision, the main masterminds behind the entire Call of Duty franchise, if anyone had any doubt in their mind that the Battlefield franchise was not the biggest rival of Activision's Call of Duty, that was taken away last year when Activision and I believe it was Infinity Ward, stated that they were making the Call of Duty, I almost said Modern Warfare, shit. Sorry, as soon as I start thinking about Infinity Ward, I start thinking about Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare series, the worst game of the series being Ghost, the entire Call of Duty franchise, I should say. But, you know, that suspicion was laid to rest. So now we'll fast forward to this year, and again, with Treyarch, from what I'm being told and what I've read, basically trying to make the new Black Ops game like Overwatch and a couple other games as well. And I think I speak for every gamer out there who's ever played the Call of Duty games. Out of the entire franchise, and there's a lot of Call of Duty games I like, there's also a lot of Call of Duty games I hate. Mainly because I'm not a fan of basically the guns in the game. Like, I don't like the original Call of Duty games, anything prior to Modern Warfare, and that's why I'll never pick up or even think about picking up a copy of um, World War II, because I don't like the guns in that game. I don't like the way the guns are. I'm a rapid fire kind of guy, and 90-some% of the time I'm coming across a fucking gun that, oh, this looks like it would be rapid fire. No, it's one shot. I hate one shot. I hate that shit. That's why I'm not a fucking sniper in the games. But anyway, get back on topic here a little bit. So anyway, to anyone who's ever played the Call of Duty games, and you've went out, you picked up, again, the worst game, in my opinion, in the entire franchise. Of course, I haven't picked up Advanced Warfare either. Hoping to eventually. I skipped Advanced Warfare, went straight into fucking Infinite Warfare. Thanks, babe. Um, but anyway, so to anyone who went out and picked up Ghost, now we all remember all the hype everyone had about Ghosts, because we thought, okay, this is going to be a backstory to one of the main characters in the entire Modern Warfare franchise, being Ghost. And then we were all let down because that simply wasn't the case. It was basically this whole off the books kind of Black Ops, SEAL Team 6 type of shit. And I'll tell you what, I haven't met one Call of Duty fan yet who won't agree with me when I say it was the worst fucking game in the entire Call of Duty franchise. I'm not the biggest fan of Infinite Warfare, but I like it more than Ghost. I actually prefer the Black Ops series as opposed to most of what Infinity Ward makes, because of the fact Black Ops has always been outside the box shit. But Infinity Ward's always been kind of in the box. Which I have to really say congratulations to the company that, with the help of Activision, created the Advanced Warfare games. Because, as we all know, Infinite Warfare was the... you can't call this anything else, was the love child of the creators of Advanced Warfare and Infinity Ward, basically, because it incorporated a lot of the same shit in it that Advanced Warfare had, and then, of course, Black Ops 3 kind of carried that as well. But the objective with Advanced Warfare was to bring the Modern Warfare franchise into a modern era. And from what I've heard, they've successfully done that. I know there's been a couple of reboots here lately for the original Modern Warfare, and even rumors of Modern Warfare 2 being remastered as well. I didn't like the fact that I read it wouldn't have multiplayer at first. Because, I mean, let's face it, that once you get done with the storyline, the best part of Modern Warfare 2 is the fucking online. It's the multiplayer. Plain and fucking simple. So, but again, we can all agree on the fact that Ghost was the worst fucking game ever made. It was a game that should have never even been conceived for the Call of Duty franchise. And the biggest issue I had with Ghost is that, like, I didn't mind the dynamic maps that Ghost had. The one with the fucking earthquake and the one where the building was sliding down. You know, I personally thought that was good. I thought, okay, this is, again, just showing that the biggest rival to Call of Duty is Battlefield. Now, Battlefield's been doing it for years. DICE with Battlefield's been doing the dynamic shit for years. Call of Duty and Activision really weren't doing that. But then Infinity Ward comes around with Ghost, and they introduced the whole dynamic map, and I thought it was a very good concept. I liked the concept. I didn't like the way they took it. And I've sat down and talked to many people about this because I'm a computer person, I'm a tech geek, I'm a gamer. I have a very keen eye for developmental flaws. And at one point, I was on the phone with one of the administrators for Full Sail University, talking to him about it. And really, the reason we were talking about was because I wanted to get into computer, or I can't say computer programming, but really game design and the whole programming aspect of it. Because I can't draw for shit. But and he asked me a few questions, and he asked me, well, why do you want to do this? I'm like, because I love technology, and I love seeing how programs and softwares work. And I touched on the Call of Duty franchise and Ghost in particular in that statement, and kind of told him, I like the concept of the dynamic mapping. They finally did something that their biggest rival Battlefield's been doing for years, but they didn't take it far enough. And that's the God's honest truth. They didn't take that far enough. If they'd added a few, even if it was 10 more lines of code, but anywhere from 10 more lines to a few more hundred lines, or however many lines it would have taken to really just define, is the only word I can think of that fits the bill here. If they would have just defined that aspect just a little more, they'd have had, hands down, the best game ever made for Call of Duty. But they didn't. As Activision has often let their co-developers for the Call of Duty franchise do, Infinity Ward dropped the fucking ball on this one. They added a couple dynamic maps, and that was it. And, one bit of hype with the dynamic maps in Battlefield is that if you throw a grenade into a building, now I don't play the Battlefield games, I hate the Battlefield games, but if you throw a grenade into a building, not only will the grenade go off, but there'll be either a decent hole put in the building, or the building will collapse, which is something that, quite frankly, the Call of Duty games has never had. And I even told the administrator, I'm like, if they'd have done something like that, to where if you throw a grenade into a building to try to kill the camper or whoever's in there at the time, even if the grenade doesn't get them directly, and you're able to bring the building down on their ass, you're still going to kill them. The same way if someone was on a roof and threw a grenade in the building and said, fuck it, I'm just going to bring the building down on their ass. You know, if they'd have done something like that, hands down, hands fucking down, they'd have made the best game ever for the Call of Duty franchise. Would it have been copying Battlefield? Yes. But it would have really taken and excelled the Call of Duty franchise into that next level of greatness. And for me personally, yes, I like Infinite Warfare. Do I think it's the best? No. I like Black Ops 3. Do I think it's the best? No. My favorite game in the entire Black Ops series was Black Ops 2. Will Black Ops 4 be different? Yes. In certain aspects. Will it finally be that Call of Duty game that excels the entire franchise into that next level of greatness in the gaming world? It has potential. If Treyarch does the programming correctly and just really does the whole storyline correctly, even in the multiplayer, you know, if they do everything correctly, it has that potential. Every game has that potential to excel the franchise. But it has to be done correctly. So is the potential there? Yes. Will it happen? Probably not. Could this become the next worst game in the entire Call of Duty franchise? Possibly. I can't make that judgment call until I've actually played the game. Will it be the game to cause Call of Duty's ultimate demise? That depends. Because if the rumors are true and the developers at Treyarch are creating a Call of Duty game that is so much like Overwatch and a couple other popular games out there, then yes, it can ultimately be the demise of the entire franchise. If not the entire franchise, it could ultimately lead to Treyarch's immediate departure from the Call of Duty franchise. I'd hate to see that happen because while not all the Black Ops games are good, they have some very great games in the form of both the original Black Ops and Black Ops 2. They have a decent game in Black Ops 3. And I'd hate to see them have to be ejected from the entire franchise over a game like Black Ops 4. Ultimately, what I see happening is Activision sitting down and taking the reviews basically after the release and even prior to the release with all the testing, and taking everything into consideration and really having to look at it and say, okay, did they exceed our expectations or did they drop the ball worse than what Infinity Ward did with Ghost? And if they make the game too much like Overwatch, then it could become a fact of they dropped the ball, and I would look for Activision to just axe them from any further Call of Duty games and then bring in another company. Or just stay with Infinity Ward and have Infinity Ward bust their ass to put out a new Call of Duty game every year. Which is another thing I don't like. I don't like that we're bombarded by Call of Duty games every year. I think each one of these companies need 2 or 3 years to really work on a Call of Duty game to iron out everything before it's released. But unfortunately, it's not that way. So, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Leave your opinion on the matter down in the comment section below. I'm always open to hearing you guys' opinion on matters such as, you know, what's going on in the Call of Duty world, and really just the gaming community in general. Um, as always, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, turn on that notification button, and you know, just so you can keep an ear out for any updates, stuff like that, new discussions. Um, like I said, I'm going to be working on changing up the channel name. I don't know if I'm going to do it prior to uploading this video or if it'll be done after the video's been uploaded. I'm still tossing around the new channel name in my head a little bit here. But once everything's done, you guys will know immediately. So, yeah, I mean, until next time, guys, this is your boy Big C-DOGG signing off. Peace.